And thank you, Stephanie. And now we'll move on to Managing People, Knowledge and Change, where the student view will be given to us by Denise Sudin.
I have to start by apologizing because I can't sing, so I'll just be holding a speech today. So I've been asked to say a few words on behalf of the students of the Managing People, Knowledge and Change program. I want to say thank you so much for this great honor to represent my friends and to welcome you all here again today. I'm a Swedish American. I was born here in Sweden, but I've grown up mostly in the United States. And when I applied for this program, I did so with the intention of coming back to Sweden to learn about business through the Swedish perspective and also to learn more about the language and culture. However, upon meeting my classmates during the first day of class, it became very obvious that this was not going to be a lesson just into the Swedish perspective, but this was truly going to be a lesson into the global perspective. It's been mentioned already, but there are 22 nationalities represented in our program, and there have been so many lessons learned in diversity, both inside and outside of the classroom. I think I realized the first week I was here that my plans to learn about Sweden may be a little bit different than expected, as I was taking my Canadian friend Fleur to the grocery store to explain about Swedish food. So I explained to her that in Sweden, it's totally okay to eat fish eggs out of a tube. It's delicious. Taking mackerel from a can and putting it on your toast for breakfast is absolutely delicious, and nobody is going to judge you if you pour a lot of ketchup on your pasta at the Nations. The lessons in diversity continued as we danced to Turkish music at our holiday party. We sang to Chinese songs in Mohammed's corridor. And we prepared for our thesis at an Icelandic barbecue hosted by Ella and Ellen. Our Norwegian friend Ellen taught us how to bake cinnamon buns from her mother's recipe. And Zainab cooked for over 5 hours to prepare a traditional Turkish feast for us. We learned all about Sweden too. Ella, John, and Sandra taught us all about the valborg holiday, the waffle holiday, and explained what a klämdag is. A klämdag is an extra holiday in between the regular holiday and the weekend, so you essentially get an extra day off. We really like those. We really realized we were in Sweden at our costume party, where 4 people showed up dressed as Pippi Långstrump, or Pippi Longstockings, a famous children's character here in Sweden. We also ate Sunday dinners at Lund's Nation, where we discussed concepts from class, such as the ambiguity of the ambiguity and the understanding of the understanding. Our lessons in diversity continued inside the classroom, where we were taught by some of the leaders in the fields of business management, organization, and change. We would like to say thank you to them very much right now. Inside the classroom, we were often asked to participate in student-led seminars where things were turned upside down. I'd like to give you a little example of what we were up against by reading you a quote from one of our textbooks by Sandberg and Targama. You have to listen really carefully because it's complicated. And I quote, "The primary form of all interpretation, as the cultivation of understanding, is the consideration of something as something in terms of its as what, considering something as something." So, kind of challenging stuff. In all seriousness, this degree is largely based on understanding the meaning behind our most taking for granted assumptions, and learning to think critically about the functionings of people and systems. I couldn't have asked for a better place to do this than the environment provided here at Lund University. The entire time here, it felt as though we were not only getting a lesson into business, we were also getting an opportunity to reflect on ourselves as people and our understandings about the world. When reading about concepts such as how the language we use creates our organizational realities, or how our identities are regulated through human resource management practices, it's difficult not to look inward and ask questions about your understanding of the world and about yourself. Above all else, this program has provided us with a toolbox of business concepts and methodological perspectives to take with us into our future lives. We've already started applying these tools during our master's thesis, where many of us not only had the opportunity to investigate business concepts and contribute to academia, but also to start making some positive recommendations in real business settings. At the end of the thesis, we learned just how wonderful the friendships we make here are, as we showed up to support each other as we crossed the finish line at the oppositions. Many of my classmates have indicated that after this program, they no longer assume that they are wrong because they have less experience than their superiors. Instead, we aim to think critically about the needs of each unique situation, without taking for granted that the conventional way is the best way, and while at the same time understanding that the decisions we make have an impact on the greater global population. A critical approach and wonderful friendships are what we take with us. This has been a very ambiguous and processual journey in becoming the high-browed leaders in our respective fields. It has given us the confidence to ask the question, in the words of our very well-respected Professor Mats Alvesson, what in hell are the natives up to?
Before we proceed to the handing out of the diplomas, a short music video.